Professor, thank you so much for speaking to A News. We were just speaking just now about the constitution, the character of the current EU, and I asked you, is it possible for the EU to actually change, to move beyond rhetoric, documents and McKinsey consultant type behaviour? And you gave me a very stark answer. Can you remind me of what it was?
It was a no, a flat no, with pain in my heart as a committed Europeanist. Look, we've proven this beyond reasonable doubt. We had many opportunities. We had the Euro crisis as the most magnificent opportunity to put our house in order. Look, what we did was, with the Euro, is we created a central bank without a treasury. And 2019, 2021 now, with Bulgaria, treasuries without a central bank, essentially. And these treasuries have to salvage their banking systems without the central bank to have their backs. Now, if 40, 50 years ago anybody had suggested that, I think they would have been locked up as lunatics. We did it. And the result was an almighty currency crisis, financial crisis, banking crisis. And what did we learn from that? Nothing. Like the Burgunds, we learned nothing and we forgot nothing. And then what did we do? We created all sorts of different institutions like the stability mechanism, QE and all that. They proved, our leaders, that they were capable of changing everything so that nothing changes. We had the pandemic. The pandemic was another magnificent opportunity to create a Eurobond. Now some people said to me, but they did, didn't they? The recovery fund, the EU next generation, whatever it is that they called it. But it wasn't, because, we didn't create a treasury, we didn't create a Eurobond that had a long life, that was reproducible. We had the Commission effectively issue a bond, which is subprime, because the Commission doesn't have the power to tax or to borrow. And the financial markets treated these EU bonds as second-rate bonds, and bonds that they cannot rely on to keep their own financial institutions liquid. So we failed in all that. In the meantime, we poisoned the democratic debates in Europe. After 20 years of the Germans pointing the finger at the Greeks pointing the finger at the Germans, when effectively it wasn't the Germans against the Greeks, it was the bankers of Greece and the bankers of Germany in cahoots with an island and Italy and so on, in cahoots with one another against the rest of the population. So you go now to Germany, Holland, Greece, Portugal, and you say, we want more Europe, don't we? And people hide under the table. It's like saying democracy in Iraq. They know they will be bombed next time. It's not that there's a problem with Europe or the problem with democracy in Iraq. The problem is that these words now are poison. So there is no political force in Europe that can articulate an argument for federating. So we have federal money without the prospect of federation. This means that we have entered maybe half a century, maybe more, of steady European decline.